How do you talk to your spouse about controlling their discretionary spending, their for fun expenses when they're the breadwinner in the family? So let's say you're somebody who maybe spends more time with the kids or more time
Yeah.
managing the house and the other person makes more of the money. What are some tips for talking to them about, you need to spend less of the money that you're making?
So this is the true story, guys. My husband works in a blue collar job, and the whole like alpha male, I'm the man who earns the money, it's my money, I'll spend it how I want, is very, very prevalent in his line of work. I'm very thankful that he is not like that. However, when we first started our budgeting and I was saying like, you get $20 to spend on what you want and I get $20 to spend on what you want, there was some resentment that came out for him in the capacity of like, it's my money. If I want to go and get dinner, I should be able to go and get dinner. And it took a while of us going back and forth. I'm not going to pretend like we had a perfect conversation about this because we didn't. There was a lot of like, that's stupid, you're wrong, of me saying that to him. What was really important was once I could get him, and this is why we started off in this conversation with goals. Once I could get him in line with goals and I could show him all of the times that he spent money, and this sounds really mean, things like I'm at the vending machines at work, I went to get food at work, I went to get a 6-pack with dinner, whatever it is, those kinds of things, the small, it's just $1, it's just $5 here and there kinds of expenses really, really drained our bank account. And so printing out our bank statement, I highlighted all of the places that he spent in a week. Without giving him his $20, I said, you can go ahead and spend your money. We'll come back in a week. We'll talk about this again in a week. I highlighted all of those expenses and I said, how much do you think you spent? He was like, oh, $25 or something. It was like $100. It was an obscene amount of money. And when he looked at that and realized that that was how much that he was spending without thinking, there was like, it was a switch flipped. And he was like, this is actually being problematic. I'm not just being a crazy person. It was actually a problem. And so for him, being able to actually see that really did click. We've had this conversation as well, my husband and I, about it's not my money. It's not your money. We are married. We are a couple. We are a family. It is our money. Your bad decisions affect us. My bad decisions affect us. It is a whole unit kind of a thing. And so it takes time. And I'm a big fan of marriage counseling, just in case anybody hasn't picked up on that. Huge, huge fan. That's always a line item in my budget, by the way, is going to marriage counseling together because it really is important. And it really did help. Being able to have him see that it's not just I made money, I get to spend it. It's if you go over budget, we can't pay rent. That's kind of important. We can't pay for groceries. That's kind of important. And it took time. And like I said, everything takes time. This doesn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight. These changes didn't happen overnight. We are not there to nag. We are not there to wag our finger in anyone's face. This is a process. All right. Because nobody wants to have a conversation with somebody who's constantly like blaming them. Even if it is their fault. And like, I feel that obviously I'm not the spender in my house, but instead of saying you spent too much money, it's there isn't enough money in the account to pay for rent. What can we do to fix this? And that kind of brings it into a team effort. Instead of saying, you spent this money, this amount of money was spent. That really does help because it opens up a dialogue instead of actually pointing fingers and saying, you did this, you're at fault, you're wrong. Nobody wants to have a conversation with that kind of person. I was that kind of person. And I'm like, why won't he listen to me? Oh, it's because I wouldn't have listened to me either. So if you're able to try, and this is a full stop try, like take out the emotion, take out the finger pointing and have a conversation. Say, what can we do to fix this? We are spending too much money on blank blank. Have kind of that open conversation versus being very accusatory. And it will help, I promise. It takes time, but it will help.